Welcome back, Saints. I'm Jake Ferguson.
And I'm Ryan Loons, and this is SFHS Today.
In world news, Indonesian search teams have retrieved one of two black boxes from the Boeing 737 plane that crashed into the Java Sea on Saturday, January 9th, killing 62 people on board. The search teams are still looking for the cockpit voice recorder.
In national news, the FBI have warned of possible armed protests across all 50 states as Trump supporters and far-right groups call for demonstrations before President-elect Joe Biden is sworn in as president on January 20th, 2021. Meanwhile, Democrats are wrestling with potentially impeaching President Trump following the Capitol riots of last week while trying to balance keeping the focus of Biden's agenda in the first 100 days.
In local news, a separate trial will be held for former police officer Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd because concerns over COVID-19 are too great to have all four ex-officers charged in case to go on trial in the same courtroom at one time, according to the court document filed on Tuesday.
In school news, Superintendent Beth Geese sent an announcement out following Monday's school board meeting, which explains some of the timeline for bringing students back into the school. We spoke with Principal Doug Austin to get a quick update.
Once we come back in person, do you know when that would be?
Okay, so it's different. The way the rules are set up by the state, Minnesota Department of Health, is that there needs to be, you can only bring 3 classes in at a time and then 1. So the plan as we go forward, and it was approved by the school board and now is being looked at by kind of the regional committee, is that we would have students, 9th graders, would be back February 1st. So that would be the first group of students that would come back. And then the rest of the student body would come back after President's Day, which I believe is February 16th. So those would be the dates that we'd be looking at this time as far as that goes. That can always change, it might get modified. There's a lot of little variables that we have to take care of, as far as the schedule.
As it stands, it looks like the goal is to get freshmen back into the high school by February 1st, with upperclassmen returning in later February.
When students do come back to the building, they will see that construction has continued in their absence. Reporter Haley Turner got some updates with Principal Austin and a sneak peek at some of the projects.
How has the new construction been since people weren't in school?
Well, we've made a lot of progress. It kind of makes me like the gymnastics gym is done, which I don't think was there. The locker rooms are almost done. The weight room and that whole area, I think a lot of the athletes are seeing that right now because they're utilizing some of that. So that's a real positive thing. The old Bridge Street room, which we will still call the Bridge Street room, which is off of the cafeteria, which will be an extension of the cafeteria, is going to be done within the next week or so. So that's probably the biggest thing. Obviously, when students walk in and they look to their left as they enter the building, they'll see the windows and things like that. They're going to start doing all the finishing stuff. So we anticipate that'll be ready by the end of this month completely. There's still some odds and ends that they're doing. I think some of the science rooms still were under construction when you guys were there with minor things that we were doing. But that's all I can really think of. I'm trying to think of anything else that wasn't available when you guys were here.
Now, how many more areas does there need to be modified?
It's called punch list items. Those are items like where they have to replace something or the carpet needs to be fixed. As far as new construction, we are almost completely done once that the Bridge Street area is completed. And then we'll start putting lunchroom tables in there and probably at the beginning of February as we kind of move forward.
Okay. How does it feel having all the book stuff come in finally?
It's exciting. It'll be more exciting once we get actual books on the shelves. But if you kind of look around, we've got quite a few bookshelves that are waiting to be filled. And once we get things back in, then it'll feel more like an IMC for students to come in and study and check out books and that type of thing.
And has the process been easy without having students here?
No, I miss students. So it's never easy without students here. I love when the kids are here, and not having them here and having those resources available to them is difficult.
As you can see, the school added all activities from the school up in the Commons to give it more of a memory hall of fame, not just from the past, but also from the present.
Last week, we shared that Mercedes Hamilton had won a spot at Nationals Lincoln Douglas debate. On January 9th, she also took second place in Section 5. Lincoln Douglas debate tournament will be competing at state tournament this weekend. Virtually, she competed a 5-1 record and lost first place on a tiebreaker. That makes her this week's 5 minutes of fame.
Student celebrities everywhere, this is why you should care about 5 minutes of fame.
I've been asked a number of times why I've joined debate, and it is always the same answer, that I've had this passion for arguing. Not only have I had a passion for arguing, but I also find it very intriguing that you argue both sides of a topic in debate. And it really pushes you beyond your limits and to look at a new side that you never thought of. And even though it's not something you may personally support, you defend it in the sake to win the round. It really pushes you to look deep into a topic instead of only looking at your personal views and why you decide something. I personally am extremely excited that I made it to nationals. I have been going to the national qualifying tournament since I was a freshman, so it was my 4th year debating, and to finally place second at that and make it to nationals was a really huge accomplishment for me. A lot of people throughout the past 4 years have helped me with debate, starting with the coaches I had my freshman year, Mr. Fetzik and Mr. Graves. Even though they were only my coach for 1 year, they definitely had a long-lasting impact. And Mr. Toole, my coach now, he's been my coach for the past 3 years, has had a huge impact on how I debate and my life itself. He's a really big role model, and I know he's always there when I have a question or just need a little reassurance about something. Also, my parents have helped me tremendously, always pushing me to do my best and making sure I stay on track and just being a really big support. So I'm really thankful for all the people that have supported me. Going to different schools I've never been to before, meeting amazing people who are so nice and generous. The debate community is just so easy to connect with everyone. We're all a really big support system. The only thing I would like to add about debate is how truly amazing it was, and I'm sad I can't debate for St. Francis High School forever, but all good things come to an end, and I would strongly encourage any individual to get involved with debate. It will help you in so many ways, I promise you. So if you ever want to, feel free to join debate.
In place of an RQT this week, Jaden Bowman, aka Tony Pepperoni, created a tier list comparing all the flavors of Doritos.
Hello everyone, it is me, Tony Pepperoni. Tony's the name, pizza's the game, and welcome to Tony Pepperoni's tier list.
Pizza gang, pizza gang, pizza gang, pizza gang, pizza gang, pizza gang, pizza gang. Ask my boss for a new raise. Huh?
So to start it off, we have to get the classic, the nacho cheese Doritos. Obviously. It's a little weak, maybe it was just that one chip, but the flavor profile is a little weak, and I feel there could be a little more like power added into the chip and a little more flavor that could be added to it. And I'll probably put it as a B tier on the rankings. And in number 2, we have another pretty notable one, Cool Ranch Doritos. These so far, this had a lot more flavor. Still a solid chip, and I can probably put it as a B tier as well. All right, next up we have the spicy sweet chili. And from what it seems, this is a favorite of other people I know. Yeah, just it has a little bit. It's exactly what it's called, sweet spicy chili. It has a little bit of spice to it, has some sweetness to it, and it's flavored well. Has enough flavoring on it to enjoy. This definitely is going to be an S tier. So we have another one chili related. We have the Doritos 3D chili cheese nacho. They're pretty underwhelming, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna probably give this an F tier. So here we have the spicy nacho. At first bite, you get most of the nacho flavor, and then as time goes on, you start to get some of the spice. I'm probably going to give this a C tier on the list. We have the Flamin' Hot Limon. It's considered flaming hot, but it doesn't really have much of a spice profile to it. And like a chip like this, that's good for me. I'm gonna have to go with an A tier on that one. It's definitely something I could enjoy.
Now on to sports. In national sports news, Major League Baseball team were informed Monday by Commissioner Rob Manfred to prepare for an on-time start of the 2021 season, received health and safety guidelines that stated teams would also permit fans to attend games, perhaps as an early spring training in February.
In state sports, when college football's national championship game concluded, the clock started ticking toward the 2021 season. Minnesota's schedule next fall looks daunting, especially with the title game runner-up Ohio State coming to Minneapolis for the season opener at the TCF Bank Stadium.
Right here at home, reporter Madison Rothbauer gives us an update on our boys and girls basketball team returning for in-person practice.
It's day 4 of the 2021 basketball season, and I'm going to get an inside look with Coach Nick Jerf and boys coach Kyle Waterworth.
How many games are going to be on this year's schedule compared to previous years?
Previous years we get 26 regular season games and we're guaranteed at least one section game, up to 3 section games and 3 state tournament games for a maximum of 32. This year we're only guaranteed 18 games. As of right now, we only have 17 on the schedule. Even if we complete those 17 or 18 games, we're not guaranteed to have any postseason games.
What is going to be the biggest obstacle your team is going to encounter, COVID-wise and just in general?
I think COVID-wise, just staying healthy, shrinking your circle, taking precautions so that we don't get put in quarantine or shut down. Basketball-wise, I think our biggest obstacle is going to be our youth. We returned 3 players with varsity experience. 2 of those 3 players are arguably the best players in the Mississippi 8 Conference, so we do have some talent returning. But basketball is a team sport. You need to fill in, with some players around your returning letter winners. And we have quite a few sophomores that are going to be competing for varsity playing time this year, and how we come together and gain experience kind of on the fly will be important in our development.
COVID-wise, there's so many obstacles. I guess the biggest would probably be avoiding getting cases in general. Probably not realistic, which makes the second biggest obstacle avoiding getting the whole team shut down if and when we do have positive cases. In general, we are in a tough conference. We have a lot of young girls, and so we face the challenges of just getting better as a basketball team and figuring out how to win games and become a winning program.
What is your overall goal for the 2021 season?
Overall, the goal is to take it one practice, one game at a time, especially given the circumstances.
Before we go, reporters Abby Ferrario and Caitlin Thompson continue their own outdoor adventure with a little bit of snowshoeing.
Oh my god, my feet are like crossing. You have to like... Yeah, it is a workout, but it's a really fun one. What'd you think of it, Caitlin?
It's very tiring and definitely a workout, like she said. But you get a lot of snow in your boots, which make your feet really cold. So
I'd just say be prepared. Yeah, we fell a couple times. Overall, I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. I would do this again.
Yeah, super fun.
That's all for this week. Stay safe, Saints.